Bruce Wayne may appear to be a wealthy playboy, but beneath this facade, his true identity is that of the Batman, waging an endless war against crime. Join the Caped Crusader in Batman The Audio Adventures, the first scripted audio original featuring Batman and his villainous rogues gallery in a world premiere story of life and death in Gotham City, debuting exclusively on HBO Max. This rollicking adventure, told across 10 episodes, is written and directed by Emmy winner Dennis McNicholas, includes devilishly delightful original music by Doug Bossy, and performances by Rosario Dawson, John Leguizamo, Chris Parnell, Melissa Villaseñor, Seth Meyers, Jason Sudeikis, Brooke Shields, Fred Armisen, and many, many more. Go to hbomax.com/Batman Audio Adventures for more and stream Batman, The Audio Adventures only on HBO Max.
But their story didn't end there.
How could there have been only one? And he's back in business.
Is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Part 2 is the final chapter in the violent history of...
This time, it's personal.
Mommy! Daddy! I found something!
A British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
Now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming. The hell was that? Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable feast underway. Don't move!
What is it?
Mommy's very angry.
If you like dinosaurs, Isla Sorna gymnastics, Mercedes off-road vehicles, theme parks, tall grass, environmental activists pretending to be photographers, little girl maulings happening on islands you thought was a safe place to park your yacht, then you'll love our sequel this week, 1997's The Lost World, Jurassic Park. That was actually surprising to me. I thought it was Jurassic Park, the Lost World, but it's the other way around. That's exciting. And that's how you know this is a little different than other sequels. Welcome to Revenge of Sequel, the podcast just about sequels. We're talking about what I think, truly, a classic sequel and one of the sequels to the most successful movie franchises of all time, if not rivaling, Marvel, The Godfather in terms of quality. Every single movie made by James Bond, all of them, all the sequels can bite this dinosaur butt. I'm excited to talk more Jurassic Park. My name is Emmanuel.
Hey, I'm Andrew. What's up? It's John.
And we all love the Jurassic verse. What's the name of this franchise? I don't even know.
I think it's just the Jurassic Park franchise, or now the Jurassic World franchise, but
the Jurassic, the new park, the new park opening,
the Jurassic.
Jurassic 5. It's funny, we never leave the Jurassic period in the franchise.
Yeah, we have dinosaurs from like the Cretaceous and shit. It's not
shit. There's one other one.
That would have been easier.
Cretaceous, Jurassic,
Triassic.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
it's a triathlon.
So the first movie should have been called. The first movie should have been called the Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The second one should have been called.
There we go.
No, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And then the third one should have been Cretaceous Park.
The Dawn of Man. But that is
Westworld.
You know what else? Hey, I don't want to sound nerdy. Most of these dinosaurs weren't around during the Jurassic period. Sorry about that. Scientists. You were wrong. We also know now that a lot of the science is not correct.
The Spinosaurus was aquatic, but he's like killing a T-Rex on land in the third
Also,
one.
I think Jack Hanna still believes that the T-Rex is like non-violent or like was a non-violent animal.
Wait, you're talking about Jack Hanna,
what's his name? Jack, the fucker that was the paleontologist or something like on the as a consultant on this shit. Let me see.
Oh no, okay, that's different. Jack Hanna is
Animal Adventures.
is
Yes, I
the
know who that
animal
is.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, damn.
I know. Yeah,
like,
that's why
does he
I made
care
that
about
fucking.
dinosaurs.
I'm gonna find that name right now.
Yeah, and also prayers to Jack Hanna. I
Jack
know he's
Horner.
dealing with
Excuse
stuff.
me,
Jack Horner. Okay, yeah. Get out of town, Jack Horner. Friend of the pod, Jack Hanna.
James Horner.
Why does he care? He should be focusing on his notes. This isn't the first Jurassic Park movie though that we've talked about.
No, it isn't. We back way back on our. Oh shit! Well, I guess we're gonna reference our first season here.
Oh.
Way back on our first season.
Canceled.
We
Don't look for it though.
Shit. I mean,
Just
you're digging the hole right here. You're digging that hole.
Believe it's there, but
saying-
don't use the search function on liberated syndication.
Anyway, fucking hell. We did Jurassic World. I think the week it premiered, or like maybe a day after it premiered or something.
It was for my birthday.
Yes, I remember that. We all went to go watch Jurassic World. We all had very different opinions on how that movie went. But that was the first Jurassic movie that we did for this podcast. It was
special movie.
Inaugural
in some ways.
season, yeah.
Andrew, are you?
What a waste.
No. Are you talking about my birthday? Wait, are you saying another year of my life was a waste?
I told you. Remember, I had seen that movie twice in theaters the same day.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I entered my sexy 60s.
My sexty, my sexty.
Can you imagine that if that's real? Your 60s are where you just become very active online when you turn 60, and it just gets really gross.
Yeah,
might be
definitely.
real now. Look it up, everyone. But I guess then we might have talked about our relationship to Jurassic Park. But do you want to recap? Because I mean, this movie came out while we were alive. Because again, I'm 60. But what are your earliest memories of dinosaur fear? Things like that.
Andrew, you can go first on this one.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
John needs time to think. But I had a very special relationship, I think, with dinosaurs growing up.
Gross.
Because as I think any kid or there's a fascination of like these kaiju-esque giant lizards that you're like, oh man, these are badass and they're really cool. And so in kindergarten, man, that used to be my thing. I used to love dinosaurs a lot, and so the first Jurassic Park left an impression even to this day, man. It's no wonder these other Jurassic movies can't touch it.
It's weird, right? Watching this movie just reminds you of the first one. You're just like,
Yeah,
I watch
and
the
you're
first
like,
one.
damn. Well, and so the first one, to be honest, is good enough to hold the rest of the franchise up, even if they're not as
Classic.
good.
It's a straight up classic.
And just a masterclass, and Steven Spielberg, one of the best filmmakers ever, and
For special effects, all that
and
shit.
practicality. And I think that's why
that probably played a big role in why it impacted us, because part of us probably thought it was real or possible because it looked
I was
real.
like, I'm gonna be taking a shit, and then the T-Rex can just jump in there.
I'm never going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. And then even this Jurassic World 2, where it kind of is like the first one on steroids, where it's like 50 different action sequences and everything is tension building, and they get out of the glass scene just to go onto the rope, where it's like, man, we're still building tension, and it's almost like too much towards the end of it all, where it's like, damn, this movie's been going on for 3 hours. But yeah, really, really fond memories. And then in my adulthood, kind of the transitional period, watching the third one, where I'm like, oh man, I was starting to like realize that, man, this isn't that good. It's okay, but it's not that good. And then getting worse progressively. I always tell John the rank is as released. So like, how do I rank them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the way I rank them. And so as released is
I go in reverse order.
You would.
I'm just kidding.
And hopefully that trend does not continue, because then that would mean that this next one is going to be worse than Dominion.
This is Jurassic World Dominion. This is an ongoing franchise too,
What's
which
the
is
other
not
one called Jurassic World
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, it's going to be worse than Fallen Kingdom. And I was like, oh, that's tough.
Well, we talk about a lot of franchises that are over or that are kind of standalone, but this is one that is still new life is being breathed.
Yeah.
It just like the mosquito DNA sucking
Dino DNA.
we're making a new one. We're creating a new
life.
Jurassic World finds a way.
I think it was kind of dead there after the third one for a bit. It was kind of like they didn't really
Joe
know
Johnston, right?
After the third one hit, they didn't really know what direction they were going to take because, like, at that point, I think you can kind of see it even just watching it, the third one now. Like, it kind of is, overall, it's an okay movie. I think I actually think I might prefer it to the second one, but it's
Spinosaurus?
just, but you can totally tell it's kind of like losing steam as far as like plot wise. Like, what's
Bigger,
next
better,
to it?
baby. Bigger,
And
better,
so-
faster, stronger.
How many times are you going to go back to these motherfucker islands?
Yeah, and then so I think Jurassic World having this like pseudo reboot, almost remake of the first movie is kind of like the direction it always needed to go, sort of, unless you did bioweapons, which is also hinted in Jurassic World. And then because every movie that's come out makes a lot of money. I think Jurassic World made like $1 billion. I think Fallen Kingdom, I'm not sure how much that made, but
Incredibly successful, well-received
yeah.
films, yeah.
So I mean, it's no wonder they're making
More.
of a giant big one. I mean, you keep saying that they're going to make this is the beginning.
I really do feel like
but
this is
Trevorrow literally
more.
is saying that this is the conclusion of the Crichton story from that was started in the first one. So like I don't know. Yes, you're right. I think if it makes $1 billion, then no matter what Trevorrow says, like
They're
there's going to
coming
be a
back,
studio
yeah.
head and be like, hey, what if there was more
I know.
dinosaurs?
Space dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, why do you think that? I mean, Jurassic Park, one of the biggest things ever. I think this Lost World. There in our the opening intro to Revenge of the Sequel. If I'm not mistaken, there's a Lost World.
In Malcolm.
It's one. I don't even know what the other ones are.
The
but
history of
I
bad
know
ideas.
this one is in our intro, so it's definitely a big formative sequel. But why do you think? And we'll talk about Lost World here in a bit. But why do you think no one else can really touch the dinosaur subgenre of horror? Because I mean, the if you boil down what you're scared of, you're just scared of being eaten by something like a monster, like a monster movie.
Yeah, something big.
And you feel like that could just be replicated over and over again, specifically with dinosaurs, but no one else can do it really. Why do you think no one can?
I need me a Turok movie or a Dino
Turok
Crisis
would be great,
movie.
yeah.
Dino Crisis, like Resident Evil with dinosaurs. You're
Yeah.
like, oh damn, that's
Dinotopia, a pirate dinosaurs. Have you read the book?
what are you doing?
It's not great.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Never mind.
Oh, that was
Edit
your
point.
pitch. You were
What
just
was
like,
the ABC Dino show?
dinosaurs?
Not the
Dinosaur-
mama.
How come
It
not
was
the
called
mama
Dinosaurs.
didn't work?
There was
Damn it.
Dinosaur by Disney.
Okay.
Walking with Dinosaurs, Discovery.
Walking with Dinosaurs was a really good
I
thing.
remember watching. I was
I
like,
think-
oh,
To answer to go back to what
Like,
you're
can you
asking.
go pitch a
the
dinosaur
land,
movie? you
the
think?
land before time.
Do you
I
think
don't think
anyone would make a
general
dinosaur?
audiences. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's weird that Jurassic Park has owned cinematic dinosaurs. Like,
The Little Dinosaur, Pixar. Keep going.
oh yeah,
That one fucked me up a different way.
I'm trying to just think of all the dinosaurs.
but it's all. But I guess in terms of giant big budget cinematic ones, it for some reason just belongs to Universal and the Jurassic franchise. I'm not sure why. I think it's because of the impact of that first movie. That first movie ignited my love for dinosaurs. I was like, whoa, holy shit! They look like this, and they were
Yeah.
They can't see you if you don't move.
yeah.
It's honestly, your parents probably loved it because it was a cheap toy because they're like, that's just a cheap T-Rex toy. And they're like, they don't know that. It's
Yeah,
this is
and
the
then-
one from Jurassic Park. And you're like, what?
Oh no! Now, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you're little, but then
There's
when
dinosaurs
as you
everywhere.
get older, you're like, hey, buy me that.
I want, the replica.
That JP, the one on the
I
leg.
need the fucking
Oh, yeah.
the raptor claw that he stabs at the little.
You know
overweight kid.
what pop sold out is the Jeff Goldblum open shirt one. That's the one that
That's
everyone
the one,
wants,
yeah,
baby.
Wants. Yeah, it's weird because I think it just harkens back to the success of that original movie, and then every movie, The Lost World is equally as successful as as the first one.
It's got a crazy cast too, where it's like Vince Vaughn, Julianne
Yeah.
Moore, and you're like, oh
And
shit.
it's a different story. It's darker and it's this kind of expedition type of story as
You
opposed
see
to
way more dinosaur than you did the first Jurassic
it's,
Park.
It's super it's
a little
more of
mean.
an explorer story. Yeah, it's a mean
is a
movie.
little
It's a
mean,
mean
yeah.
It's a little mean.
Sadistic in a way.
Yeah.
Setting
Not as
people
mean
up
as-
to be eaten.
Well, it's
I
like,
don't think
bro, why
it's as
did
mean
you-
as Jurassic World. Jurassic World still
yeah.
takes the cake because of that lady who gets eaten by the Mosasaurus.
Oh yeah, just
That's
for
a
not
mean
paying
one.
attention. Right?
Yeah.
That's the lesson. Get off your phones, kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's these movies own that subgenre because of the how they're
first
presented.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because of the first one, really. I think.
Yeah.
And because you can't. Do they own the designs of this? Does Universal own
There's
the
no way
design?
that. Did they own the rights to
Well, 'cause
T-Rex? now?
T-Rex, the design first,
that
when you watch,
specific one, yeah.
when you see it on a
Cup.
on a
Or it's like the
a-
fucking bones.
or in an encyclopedia, that doesn't look like
GM.
the
Spielberg makes $1 anytime they find a dinosaur in the
that
wild.
looks like that. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Jurassic Park T-Rex. I remember
Yeah.
reading about dinosaurs in
They have
other books
feathers.
and stuff. Yeah, Oh, yeah, sure.
And when, like, how do you not watch this one after watching the first one?
Yeah.
How can you stay away from this one? You can't.
Yeah.
Because of the first, it's just so good.
Yeah.
That you have to see what happens next, even if it's not as good. You know?
I guess
but you don't know that going in.
I think Jurassic Park also has that underlying. All of the movies have this kind of hubris of man type thing, and
Yeah.
dinosaurs, and
like a
people thinking they
Frankenstein.
can, Frankenstein, or just a force of nature that everyone thinks they can control, but you can't control a raptor. Like it's kind of the.
This is the only time where
theme.
the geese chase you.
Ooh yeah. Just let's do taglines of the first Jurassic Park. I hope your cup of water doesn't have any ripples in it.
That they should have and they could have won. I forgot what that one's called.
Oh yeah,
The scientist one.
We already did Life Finds a Way.
Yeah, we did.
Anyways, let's talk about this movie specifically, 1997's The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
I met Jeff Goldblum. I've totally met him.
Wow.
He called me sweetie.
Oh.
He's the only man to ever call me sweetie.
Are you sure, sweetie pie?
And then, now we're going to fight after this.
What did you think about this movie? What did you think about it centering around Dr. Malcolm and I guess just really more dinosaurs with larger groups of people getting murdered, and also it's on San Diego. It's, you know, they bring it to San Diego. Andrew, what do you think about this movie?
It was funny because we were texting about like, have you watched the movie? Have you rewatched the movie yet? And we're like, no. And we're like, and Emmanuel said like, we probably remember every single frame.
And guess
and,
what?
like,
We probably did.
And
We totally did.
I
yeah.
remember describing John, to John, like, oh, what happens after the sequence? Oh yeah, and then after that, this happens. I was like, oh yeah.
All right,
and,
do it right now.
And no,
Whole
I
movie.
don't want to. No.
Damn it.
Like,
Open on.
because now the pressure's on. And I'm gonna forget. I'm like, this is where they're in the water.
He's
But-
right.
But yeah, I thought this was okay. I mean, just like the last 50 times I've seen it, I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. It is a it's a downgrade from the first one, but that's not knocking this one, I think. And the first one is obviously like a measuring stick that a lot of blockbusters try to put themselves up against, and it's tough to go against the classics. You're never gonna make a movie better than Jaws, better than Jurassic Park, better than The Empire Strikes Back.
It's only because that's the first time you saw something like that.
Yeah.
First Jurassic
And
Park,
so it's just monumental, and that's why they have rides at Universal for this, because it's something that, with the work that the first one put in, ensured the future of the franchise forever. Because that's a movie that you can still put on and not only enjoy but believe that you're like, oh shit, like they got a time machine and ripped a T-Rex out of the fucking past and brought it back so that they can film it here or whatever. And the innovation and the technology that they were doing for film also. And that was a big knock with Jurassic World, where I'm like, man, why did you do everything CGI? Like that, it takes you out of the illusion of...
They didn't do everything CGI in Jurassic
Mostly,
Park.
there was like one that wasn't, but I was like, okay. You know,
Chris Pratt is real in that movie.
You built a T-Rex in this movie, in the first one. Like, build a T-Rex every time. Save the T-Rex and then just put new skin on it later. I imagine the rubber gets like fucked up and it'll start to like just fall
That's
off.
scary to see.
Yeah,
like,
zombie T-Rex maybe, like a Night of the Living Dead T-Rex.
Oh my god!
But I'm trying to think of ideas on how to keep this franchise going. Damn.
Copyright.
Remember, it was like the Fast and the Furious thing where like they need to fight the cars. What if the cars were the enemy? And you're like, oh man, AI, Teslas,
Transformers. So
yeah, I guess they transform while they're in the cars and they just kill them like that. But I dug this one. I think it's really weird that Jeff Goldblum is two different characters in both of them, but maybe the first one just sobers him up so hard that he's like stern, because he's kind of like the. No, I wouldn't say the ditz, but like the Debbie Downer in this whole thing. He just doesn't want to be here, which makes sense because of how much shit goes wrong. It goes from like, okay, we're here to like study the things, and then Vince Vaughn's character saves some of them, and then it spirals out of control from there. They're like, oh look, a little baby T-Rex, and then that baby T-Rex leads to the two T-Rexes.
And it happens I think I was telling John, like, it happens in one night. Like, it just fucking happens.
Because he freed those the animals, everything else like goes to shit. That's why they bring a T-Rex back to land, and that's why it rages through the whole thing. And so it's just a string of bad luck, ultimately, with not a lot of story. I think, there is the Hammond's family seems to be like they should just kill the whole Hammond line, because Hammond in the first one, and then his grandkids, and then this one, there's
a big kind of suspenseful business capitalist underscore here with his uncle.
Yeah, and so now, now the Hammond family is fighting within each other, and now this one wants to build another park so that they can exploit this second site. Because, first of all, I don't know how no one saw this site unless there's pterodactyls patrolling this whole way.
That ending was kind of rough. Like, you're like, oh, damn, they're literally just out here and about.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the idea that Hammond is becoming some kind of conservationist for his creation using InGen? Which is like kind of a very interesting, I guess.
He created like Skull Island in a sense. Like, you're like, damn, like, what
and
if,
that carries on. Jurassic World, the second one, there's like animal rights people in
like
it.
those pterodactyls for sure would have made it to land, and then would have bred.
Okay.
I think that's. I mean, I think it goes because of what happened in the first movie that Hammond was a part of.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking this younger Hammond-related person who's played.
No, I'm talking about old
Howard.
Hammond. Do you think he hasn't changed at all? Then he's still very kind of hubristic in a way.
I think so. I think he shows that. I mean, because he's still kind of talking to Ian, who again is like Jeff Goldblum's character is kind of like what Drew said, kind of a downer compared to what he was in the first movie.
He's scared.
Yeah, and so and Hammond is still kind of in a very arrogant type of like explaining, oh, this is going to happen type of thing, and but I think I think he's still that deep down. I think he wants these animals to like survive though, because they are technically his creation and stuff. It's weird that he doesn't have control of engine in this one. It's falling to
the
people,
shareholders took it away, which honestly is a good call by them.
Yeah,
probably,
and it happens. Yeah.
I'd vote for that. I don't know why you would.
But I think it's really cool, and because the movie is kind of structured on that. It's like it's herbivores versus carnivores, and these are kind of like people who want to preserve life versus like hunters. So it's kind of like that's a kind of the small themes that are in this movie. It's kind of like or amount of themes that's a big one.
You're
too.
supposed to feel bad when they capture all of those dinosaurs, and it's a very
definitely.
that sucks.
It's a kind of a good scene, like where they bring down that the one with the ram head or something.
Yeah,
that one's that's pretty cool. I mean, this movie is it's really, really different from the first one, which is actually like a good thing, but also like it's not as fun as the first one. There's a lot more I think there's like nightmare logic in this. Like Andrew called it like bad luck, which is kind of like akin to like a movie like Kong Skull Island or something, where like the worst thing that happens to you does. Like there's a sequence where there's a character named Eddie who is driving the car and is trying to pull the
gun.
No, he's trying to pull the. Oh yeah, I guess he's trying to pull the gun out of the thing, but he's trying to pull the trailer out, and he's attacked by two T-Rexes. That scene drags out his fear, for a long time. Like you feel really scared and sad for him. And
he's a real hero. He's the only hero really in the movie.
And then you get him, and then oh, you think he's gonna? No, he doesn't. And then you just they just eat him.
He doesn't survive. Yeah.
And
then
just
the T-Rexes leave, and the other humans just walk in, and you're like, damn, you just wanted to kill that one for shock value.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just that. That's what has to me is nightmare logic. So then stuff just keeps happening later.
Yeah.
There's a T-Rex sneaks up on the caravan of people.
Yeah.
And then a dude gets a snake in his shirt.
The things that they show because you're right, at the end of it they capture him. They capture the T-Rex, and you don't really even know how. You're like, damn, he just has it. Good for him.
A random dude dies on the street because the
trying to go to Blockbuster to rent the last copy of
That is
Jurassic
hilarious.
Park.
I love that. I will say that sequence over the cliff in that nicely positioned Mercedes. There's so many Mercedes in this movie. It's very, very on the nose. But that may be the set piece of the movie because it isn't even. I mean, it's partially driven by the fear of the dinosaurs, but it's also fear of heights. There's all this stuff happening at once, and then there's ominous. There's all this weird. Yeah, there's all this shit. She's knocked out. They're not answering the phone call. There's all of these suspenseful moments, and I think in the whole movie, that's really the first time you're hooked. You see the disaster night at Jurassic Park. That's when they're like, hey. This is not gonna go the way you planned, which of course
and then at
never
that point
happens.
it's on because after that there's
it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there's there's the T-Rex sequence right after that, and then after that you get a small little because then the characters start to mesh. There's Pete Postlethwaite's character who's named Roland, who's a pretty badass character in the movie. He's kind of the only character in the movie that doesn't have really any fear of anything,
and he's just doing it for
sport,
for sport, really. Yeah,
because at some point he's like, you don't have to pay me. I just want to do it.
Yeah. He wants a trophy or something like that.
What an idiot! Get money.
It's and then after that you just have because then what the T-Rex or the compies attack this one dude, and then and then after that is a T-Rex attack again.
Again, just bad luck where it's like, okay, now that we saved these animals, we were trying to save the little baby T-Rex, and then the T-Rex comes back, they attack our whole camp. Now we need to move because they're territorial, and then from there I have the blood of the baby T-Rex, so now they followed us, and again, it just everything goes back to back to back, and now because the T-Rexes are here, we need to call for evacuation, and then that leads into the raptor thing, and you're like, damn, like it's
a
just
shit
nothing but bad luck.
The shit keeps happening type of movie.
I get the nightmare logic that you're talking about because everyone died. Everyone that dies.
It's like when you go camping, you just expect this, like you're like, oh, you expect the worst, and like the bear's gonna come out and attack my tent, and
there's a ton of setup of like you're tracking, you're smearing the baby blood everywhere, so they're following you. He took the bullets out of your gun. It's a really interesting, I guess, like trek through that forest as they get closer and closer to where all the carnivores are, which is kind of
nobody
insane
uses a gun in this movie.
It's bonkers. What did you think about what do you think about Malcolm? I mean, we already talked about him a little bit being a different character from the first film, but it seems like he just is constantly getting gaslit throughout the entire movie, and even before the movie starts, because it sounds like everyone signed an NDA. And he's the only one screaming about dinosaurs on an island, and everyone's like, you're freaking crazy. And then on the island, he tells everyone exactly what's going to happen. And again, nobody listens, or everyone's like, no, we're okay. Do you think that he's validated by the end of it? Or I mean, I guess not. He goes, they bring it to San Diego. So he's a very interesting character. Why do you think he was in the movie instead of any of the other characters?
I think for that reason, I think we were talking about the logic and the bad luck aspect of it, and I think he's like, wasn't he like a chaotician or
like
or something?
Anything that can happen or anything wrong.
Let me put a sexy drop of water on my hand and remember him.
Oh
yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Shit.
I'm wet
from an classic scene.
My hand.
I think that's why. I mean, I think it is cool to have him, be kind of like that, and then no one else. I actually like the fact that no one really listens to him because everyone ends up almost
frustrating.
It's very frustrating, but also ends up obviously costing the majority of the characters their lives, save for the ones that are like the main characters. Like those people don't die.
Family.
Well, even like Julianne Moore apparently keeps getting like into like hijinks and stuff.
Yeah, she almost gets killed by a Stegosaurus by like being too close
because she ran out of film.
Yeah, she ran her camera started fucking up.
It's cool to have him in this movie because stuff is just going all over the place. I actually enjoy it, like because he's very Jeff Goldblum-esque too. Like doesn't stop with the one-liners or like some sort of weird.
Does he learn his lesson?
Quip.
Part of the lesson here for him is he's not a good dad, right? Like.
Right.
His daughter specifically tells him, like, you love having kids. You just don't want to be around them.
And it's the same thing.
That was kind of lost throughout the entire movie up until like the end.
It's the same thing with Julianne Moore, where she's like, I want you to come by when I don't, like, when it's not the emergency. I want you to do this and that. And so it's almost like, hey, he had a family vacation, and so that was good. And you're like, okay.
As we're talking about it, aren't these Jurassic Park movies about, like, not wanting to be around kids? Because they all have characters that don't. Even in Jurassic World, she doesn't want to be around her nephews, and it's like a big deal.
And Fallen Kingdom, they also fucking they clone
a kid, but they don't want to be around.
Oh shit!
It's Hammond's. Remember,
I think like the third. Holy fuck! You're totally right.
All the movies are about like, I guess
I hate kids, but dinosaurs are cool.
But I guess when there's a tragedy, I like them.
I mean, I guess so. I think the only thing that. The third one. The third one is like
about losing kids,
losing a kid on the island.
It's just bonkers. It's all about bad parenting, and the only good parents are T-Rexes.
Like, damn, I want to see a Jurassic Park movie with no kids and just adults, and so nothing goes wrong.
Maybe that's Dominion because everyone seems to be over the age of 40.
They're like,
that's true.
They could be the more opposite of kids.
Chris Pratt is the kid. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break, then we're gonna come back, play a game, then we're gonna talk more Lost World. Jurassic Park.
You're colon.
Welcome back from that break. I hope you buy whatever it is that we're selling because...
what are you buying?
We are playing... This is going to be a quick, easy, fun game. It's called IMDb. Internet Movie Dino Base? Huh?
Oh, nice. I thought it was like you're just about to call the IMDb.
Yeah, you're just about to plug IMDb.
There are 11 species of dinosaurs featured in Lost World: Jurassic Park. Oh, okay, I got it. Lost World: Jurassic Park. And you are going to dive back into when you were in elementary school, you know, playing with dinosaurs, reading the books, memorizing their names, and you will go back and forth naming these species of Jurassic Park.
Should I close the list that I have right here?
Close it. Yeah, what the fuck?
John's already going to win, baby.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. And you know
Ass
what?
eater.
Because of that, Andrew, we will get the choice whether you want to start or if you want John to start. But basically, you'll name a dinosaur that's in this movie.
Tyrannosaurus
I'll check
Rex.
my list. Oh, I guess he's starting. And then it'll go to John. And then the person who can't come up with one, they are the loser. And they have to kiss
my ass.
Kiss my dinosaur ass. Am I right? So, Andrew, do you have any questions about the game or no?
No, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Andrew's starting with Tyrannosaurus Rex. I know a lot of people at home are like, oh, I know all these dinosaurs.
yeah.
I know, easy.
Compsognathus.
What?
Compsognathus.
Oh, okay, yeah, the little ones. Mm-hmm. So that's Compsognathus.
Velociraptor.
I feel like this is going to begin quickly, but then get very slow.
Pachycephalosaurus. Right? I think
Yes,
that's what you call it? Yeah.
Oh, my God. Wow. John actually got that one.
Stegosaurus.
Triceratops.
Shit. Now that was my last one.
All right. Dig deep in your heart here. All of these are actually... This movie has the most popular dinosaurs. There are no obscure dinosaurs in this movie. They're all well-known. And actually, this may be like cart before the horse. Maybe they're well-known because of this movie. Does that make sense? Like I'm like, oh, I know all these dinosaurs. But maybe it's because of Lost World: Jurassic Park.
Ankylosaurus? That's not one, huh?
Is there I think you're thinking of Jurassic World.
No, I was thinking of just the caged ones because there's not. I mean, the ones we named are pretty much the ones I remember. Pterodactyl. Pterodactyl's not in here either.
No.
Yeah, that's the third one.
I think the game's over.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I think there is
John,
a pterodactyl in it though. There's a pterodactyl at the very end.
It is not a pterodactyl.
Oh, a pterosaur.
No.
Fuck.
Close.
Put pterodactyl. I'm just
No.
kidding.
John, how many more do you think you can name?
I don't know if John's got one either.
Come on. There's one really big one.
Gallimimus.
Yeah, there's one of those.
Oh, nice. Damn, John. Yeah, John won this one.
Remember,
for sure.
they're flocking.
Gallimimus. Brontosaurus.
There's no
No.
Brontosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
No, there's no
There's a
Brachiosaurus.
giant one where the fucking...
No, that's
There's the motorcycle goes between its legs when it's like looking up in the
That's
sky.
a Mamenchiosaurus.
Fuck.
You
Yeah,
dumbass.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so the one you're thinking of, pterodactyl, is a pterodon. It's at the end.
Okay.
There's a Parasaurolophus. and that's
orifice?
the fuck is that?
It's the.
Yeah, you don't even know. You're trying to stall for time so that
I'm
you
trying
can look
to.
up the
I'm
picture.
trying to
bitch.
show the. I'm trying to describe its head. It's the crest head one. This one.
Yes, that's paraplegic.
But that's it. That game lasted 4 minutes.
Damn, you're right. There was a quick game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you all have a favorite dinosaur?
To be honest, John only knew because he had the list in front of his face.
Well,
He's lying.
They literally are very.
They say
popular.
it sometimes, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
They
You
say,
got like 4 of them.
they say Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah, but I did the easy ones.
I've always known about Compsognathus.
Nah,
I didn't know what the name of that thing
exactly.
is.
But he had it on the list.
I mean, there was just there.
gave him the
I hadn't
edge,
gone to it
baby.
yet.
All right, here we go. Name a species that was not in this movie.
What?
Allosaurus.
Branchosaurus, yeah.
Okay.
Oh. See, I was going to name a new one. I wasn't just going to say Brontosaurus. I was like, Allosaurus.
When you were kids, I legit
Liploridon, the
memorized
Carnotaur.
as many as I could and was like, actually? And I'm sure that was fun for everyone around me.
Spinosaurus Rex.
Utah Raptor.
What?
That's real. That's a real raptor.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what?
I've been playing the Jurassic World
Evolution game, right?
the park building game. I passed the whole thing already. There's one. I think it may be the first one is based on. There's always a hurricane, and you can't build because it's constantly hurricanes. But it's a good game.
I want to play it, but I don't want to download it because it's a lot of money.
No.
Yes, it is.
Maybe I bought it on some special thing.
Possibly, because I was like, I've looked at how expensive it is,
How
and I was
much
like,
was
that's
it?
a lot. It's full price, like the last time I checked.
Like $49.
That's still a lot, yeah.
I think I might have gotten.
There's one
the
for your
expansion
phone that I used to be like. I used to
play that one
poured a
too.
lot of money into it. I had to
Yeah.
stop because I was like, I'm just buying like
Yeah, like
new dinosaurs
new
and
eggs
shit.
or something. All right, everyone. Well, let us know in the comments what dinosaurs you favor, and we'll see you back at the show. Welcome back from that break. Yeah, well, let's keep talking about dinos, huh?
Dino DNA.
Was there any sequences that really stood out to you? I think I mean, the over the edge,
The edging
cliffs.
Edging of the trailer, yeah.
The edging of the trailer. Oh my god, that's like what we're trying to do with Marvel trailers.
Man, and that high really didn't do anything, huh?
I just don't understand why they parked there. Like,
it's kind of, they step it up with, how they have the water glass, the glass water where it like ripples and when the T-Rex is on its way.
Yeah.
They kind of one up that in this one where the T-Rex is walking beneath them in the forest where you're like, oh,
yeah.
fuck.
And then now there's two, like a literal sequel, like
Yeah, no, you should.
double.
Yeah.
Those two T-Rexes are practical. Isn't that really cool? Like
That's
both of
cool.
them. Yeah, they said that
fucking
one of the
crazy.
biggest challenges was trying to get them on location because they're like, oh shit, we're gonna go
huge.
into a forest or something. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking.
I can't imagine
Crazy.
that situation. And again, I think that hubris thing isn't just for Hammond because Malcolm's girlfriend, Julianne Moore's character, I think in some way also has kind of an underlying, it'll be okay. I know my way around dinosaurs
Right,
thing.
yeah.
She's like, my lucky pack will save me.
Which it does, I guess, if she was right.
Totally
Your
does.
lucky
But she
pack.
gets too close to the Stegosaurus. She, hands back the baby dino and is like smiling, like hee 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 hee, come on.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty. I don't know how far that gets because towards the end they use it. I mean, it's to their advantage. They steal the baby T-Rex and get him back on the ship
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But
lure 'em as bait.
yeah, what do you think about the addition of her and then even the addition of Malcolm's extended family in the friends? I guess they're not even friends, but his daughter, who's not extended, is literally
Is an actual his daughter.
the closest to your family.
I think it adds a really cool family element to the story, and I think
Toretto.
it ups the stakes. Obviously, like now Malcolm has to be like
A dad.
a dad, and he has to be strong for this like.
He has to be
For
the
these
family's
people.
rock. He's like, I got to be the dad to this family.
Yeah.
For my wife, my future wife. They should bring back Julianne Moore and this
shit.
actress.
Yeah, where the fuck is she?
For this
Where
new
is she?
Jurassic
Yeah.
World, they should
They
do
broke
it.
up afterwards because he shit talked to dinosaurs.
He had a
or
daughter
something.
with her, too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They should bring all of them back. Oh, I said that. I don't think that was good
Well, 'cause
grammar. What I
she
said.
said, she's like, you like
if you say you might bring all them back, you might be a redneck.
Well, his daughter says, like, you like having kids, you just don't like being with them. I was like, damn, how many kids do you got?
Yeah, no shit.
He's just dropping loads everywhere.
That's true. If she's saying that, that's like a common thing.
He's like, stop donating to the sperm bank.
well, he's hot as hell too, and he kind of keeps that aesthetic going on in this one too. Like his,
Which
little,
I appreciate them unbunbuttoning the shirt at the very end when he's taking a
Oh,
nap.
yeah,
I was
he's-
like,
when he's-
respect.
You know what?
taking
In the
that.
Jurassic World, the one he had like a brief thing, and he was also wearing all black and like
The button,
that's
like
just his-
4 buttons
that's
down.
just his whole damn vibe, huh? in this
They should
movie.
put him in the ride with just the animatronic with just all the
Sitting
buttons
on the
down.
thing,
And, that's it.
everyone's
You're
like, I want to sit on that seat right there.
I want to ride that ride, Daddy.
and then they just like keep bouncing.
I think both the actresses actually did very well. Like, they had really good performances. Julianne Moore doesn't ever disappoint in whatever movie she's in. She's actually like, she elevates the. It's like what Drew was saying. I think before. I don't know if we said this before the pod or during, but like the
We'll
cast
say it
is
during.
the cast is stacked. Like this is an all-star like cast.
I did say that on record.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's got like Arliss Howard, Vince Vaughn. It has
Who's great in this movie.
Yeah, Pete Postlethwaite, which is like but he's not with us anymore right now. But like he's everything you saw him in was like really cool. You even have like cameos from like the original two kids, and then you have
Original T-Rex.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding, it's not.
Richard Attenborough, who does a cameo as
Yeah.
as a cameo as Hammond.
And truly, that scene, I think we were talking about it when they showed it. Like this, all of your questions are meant to be put aside after he talks to Malcolm because
And then do dinosaur.
because Malcolm's asking,
no story. Dinosaur.
Literally, is the audience asking? There's a second island, stuff like that.
Yeah.
My nephew's trying to profit off of the
and another thing.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit.
And then you're like, okay, cool. Like this is.
And then he's like, I need to. Who's on the island? Well, these people have these files, and these people specifically, and now you need to go get them because they were your family.
And
and-
honestly, I like that. Somebody give me one scene with someone from the old movie telling me exactly what's happening now,
What's gonna happen?
and then just turn off the lights
Go ahead.
and let this movie get crazy.
I think the character work does take a backseat to some of the action at some point.
Yeah.
Yep. Like,
there's the part to me that I was like, oh my goodness, was the daughter's use of gymnastics to rescue everyone, and then realizing after the rewatch that she talks about being cut from her gymnastics team.
Oh, you never got that?
Well,
before?
I remember that,
okay.
but being like, oh boy, like this is
come back around.
You can see what's happening, but it's cool.
Yeah,
you can see some of the wires in that scene.
You can even see some of the beams like bending. The wood bends like the whatever they use, the fake foam wood and stuff like that. And I was like, okay.
I was more
very interesting.
Worried for like, she's looking like she's doing these moves on like old rusted pipes.
Do you think
like
that was
she's
her
just going
IRL?
to get
Tetanus.
like tetanus.
Do
Yeah.
you think that's her for reals doing the?
Look it up.
I'm not too sure.
She got a stunt double?
I can probably look this up, but also like I'm trying to remember the sequence in my head, and I think they cut away when she starts doing some of this stuff, so possibly, but maybe not. I mean, that would be impressive if she did it herself, because that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm assuming they took some safety precautions, because that will possibly get you in trouble.
It's not a huge deal for me, because that is also, I bet if you watched 99% of the movies that came out in the 90s, there's some sort of setup like that in all of them. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's like, it's an exciting little thing. For as kind of dumb as it is, it's pretty cool to watch. Like, and then you see the, I think that's where Drew said that he realized there was a raptor that was pulled out of the window.
It looks like they used string to pull the raptor out of the, She doesn't touch it. It's like wrestling. She barely even kicks it.
I hope so, because it does look CGI at some point. And that's why I was like wondering if they built a full-on raptor, but because the only, I think, dinosaur that I saw that they built a full-on...
Was it a little baby T-Rex?
Was a baby T-Rex, yeah. They built they built two versions of this T-Rex. One where they can puppet... Like they can basically like do puppetry while it's on the table, so that way, like Vince Vaughn said, like apparently he was like they had to move it while Vince was doing it to make it look like he was fighting his snout. And then there's a remote controlled one that Stan Winston that built that Spielberg apparently told he complimented Winston, said like, this is the best thing you've done. He was like, you built obviously the T-Rexes and
big stuff, yeah,
but he's like, but a remote controlled like. Where you pick up the baby T-Rex and it's like flapping its tail and it's like mouth. That's a remote control, and he's like, "This is the greatest thing you've done." And I was like, I agree, because I actually when they show BTS of it, he's running with it and it's like flapping about and flailing, and someone's just controlling it on a remote, which is like pretty awesome.
And that's one of the parts that always I think has to hold up in Jurassic Park movies is the visual effects, just because the first one so groundbreaking. I mean, one of the first to use fully CGI animals, I guess, or characters, wins the Oscar for visual effects. This one is on that level. You get kind of the blurred lines of practical, because I mean, I think there's even practical Stegosaurus. There's practical everything versions, and then intermixed with the real life ones or the digital ones that we see. But this movie does not win the Oscar for visual effects. It loses to what?
I thought
Think about the year this came out.
1997. So it
lost to Independence Day.
No.
Oh.
Think bigger.
Really? Bigger than Independence Day and this?
Think bigger.
Oh, I see.
Like
Godzilla?
Nope. No, I'm not saying bigger in size. Well, I guess it's bigger than Dinosaur.
Oh, you're right. It said it earned a nomination. I was like, fuck, I read that wrong.
Well, do you want to guess or do you want me to tell you? 1997. Think of the biggest movie ever.
I said Independence Day.
The biggest movie ever was not Independence Day.
The literal biggest movie ever? Like the film reel was just too big?
Yeah, think of what was filmed on the biggest
camera. I blew up the kids.
Let's just say that in terms of box office, the biggest movie ever.
Oh.
It lost to James Cameron's Titanic.
Titanic.
This year,
yeah, you're right.
Which
totally
makes
right.
sense. That movie, oh my gosh. Speaking of disaster movies.
That is a pretty,
it's a pretty big one.
It turns into a horror show, like movie. Like, not a horror show like it's in bad. It was like that, the breaking apart of the Titanic, like whenever it starts sinking and shit starts happening.
You gotta do that one on our Revenge
Very,
sequel.
very tense.
For what?
It comes in 2 VHS tapes. We can do the second one.
It's a sequel to Life.
Oh, Celine Dion is here.
Oh shit! Damn!
Oh shit! I'm gonna break this. I can do it, but I won't. I can do it, but I can do it, but I won't.
Yeah, that makes sense that it lost to Titanic. Honestly,
I mean, and think about it, peak box office. This movie did really good, but this year, my goodness, damn,
hell of a year.
Hell of a year.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, Independence Day was out there too. Like
out and about on the streets.
Welcome to Earth.
Volcano was 98.
Joe's Volcano?
No, Volcano with
Joe
Tommy Lee
Volcano?
Jones.
Oh, yeah, where that dude's shoes melt.
I like
This was
that
the second
movie.
highest grossing movie of the year. Titanic, of course.
Okay.
Number 1, tripling its box office.
What's number 3? Independence Day, right?
Oh, do you want to get? Oh, this is a fun game. You know what? We had a short game. We can do this as a game now. Another game. Just
I'm
not
fucking
really a
forgetting.
game.
I mean, that's the only ones
1990s,
I'm...
all these movies are big ass movies, and you're gonna kill yourself for not knowing. But number 1, Titanic with 1.8 billion. Even though that's not fair, they re-release it like every fucking 2
Yeah.
years. Then The Lost World, 618. Number 3 made
Independence Day.
589 movies.
589 movies?
$1 million. And here's what I'll say: it's not Independence Day, but
It's pretty close.
you're close. You're really close with Independence Day because there's a lot of elements in that is in this movie. This movie's really
oh,
big.
shit. Fucking, it's 97.
It shares actors with Independence Day. It shares genre. It shares
Bitch.
fucking a lot with Independence Day, but it's not Independence
The
Day.
X-Files.
No.
I don't know.
What is it?
It's Men in
my
Black.
God.
Oh, fucking hell. You're right.
Do you want to keep going down the list?
No,
Number-
now it's Independence
What's
Day.
number 4? Let's just get to 4 and 5.
Okay, number 4 is a sequel. It
Okay.
is the 18th sequel.
James Bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
GoldenEye, right?
Tomorrow Never
No, not
Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh,
333 million. Number 5.
Independence Day. God damn, Independence Day cracked the top 5, dog.
I think you have the wrong year. for
Okay.
Oh,
Independence Day.
Independence Day was probably...
Hold on, let me ask Siri. Or are you typing it in?
I'll type it in. Keep thinking.
Damn, we just kind of like... So what,
Yeah,
you
that's
didn't give us any...
1996 Independence Day.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
damn.
So this is
you're too early.
97. Number 5 is a big movie.
Volcano.
No.
Fuck.
Dante's
Let me think.
Peak.
Let me say this. It's patriotic like Independence Day.
Oh, it's the fucking, what's his name? Braveheart?
No.
Just kidding.
The Patriot.
No.
Because that's also like just a movie.
Braveheart was patriotic.
No, but you said like it was patriotic, and I was like, The Patriot.
It's patriotic. You have the right country with the Patriot, I guess. I don't know. Big star? Big star. Especially at this time, maybe like, I don't know.
Glory.
He's always been a big star, so I can't say.
No, I don't know.
Let me tell you who made this movie. So it was
Who?
directed by Wolfgang Peterson. So you know it's an action movie.
Okay. Wait, no, I don't know it, but like
I'm gonna read some of the people in this movie.
Wolfgang Peterson.
But I'm not gonna say the big one.
Wolfgang Amadeus.
Let's see. Glenn Close is in this movie.
Okay.
William H. Macy is in this movie.
Wait. Hold on.
Fargo. I'm just kidding.
No, Wolfgang Peterson.
Oh shit, you're right. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying.
William H. Macy and
Glenn Close.
Who's one more?
And Gary Oldman is in this movie. But that's it. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Then those aren't even the main guy.
Everyone at home right now is freaking. They're
Brent,
looking at-
if Brent was here, Brent would be
it's
fucking
patriotic.
pissed.
Big star.
Brent's like, are you kidding me? How have you not do blah blah blah?
I
Let me
don't
see
know.
if this is a clue. Gary Oldman is the villain, but that's also not
Dracula.
And he might be canceled for. I don't know. He does an accent for sure, 100%.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh
no,
man,
no,
you
no,
probably
he's not- no.
could see him in this and hear him,
No.
but not know the movie.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, this is just like movie trivia. We don't know.
Yeah.
Number 5 of this year, making $315 million, is Air Force One, starring Harrison Ford.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
That's
shit.
funny.
Yeah, you didn't want to give it away.
You're right.
If I said
Yeah,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford,
Ford, yeah,
fuck
you're
you.
right. You're totally
yeah,
right.
You're
Yeah.
right.
All
That's
right.
funny.
God damn, that's a good movie.
Maybe we should just do this all day. It's a fun game.
Number
Number 6, as good as it gets, but that's it. I'm good.
but yeah, back to Lost World.
Sorry, Spielberg.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We
Daddy.
did a second game.
Can you imagine? He probably thought he was making the biggest movie of that year. Like, no joke. The sequel to Jurassic Park.
There were rumors-
This is gonna break, America.
You can't break the internet yet.
We have just with one
Apparently,
one
like-
gigabyte breaks the internet.
I think there's a rumor that he kind of like checked out
Oh shit!
like mentally to do some other movie, the movie right after this one.
And you said that. I mean, he just came off that stellar year too of winning the Oscar. Schindler's
Yeah.
List, doing all of that. So it makes sense that he might be a little burned out. And this does feel like as close to a sure thing of a movie as you could make, because a sequel to the biggest movie, of up until this point, Jurassic Park, sounds like the studio would benefit. Spielberg would benefit. This is money in the bank, which it was. I mean, this was a successful movie. It probably played in theaters forever. So I'm this was a big successful movie for everyone involved. Right after, during the same year, Amistad came out, and Saving Private Ryan.
I think that's why. Yeah, like I think he.
Damn, Saving Private Ryan. Damn,
the same year?
No, the same year, but literally the year after. Like it's back to back to back.
Yeah, I think he because Spielberg said, I'm reading Wiki on this one, that like he became disenchanted with this film like during production.
So they just threw in the San Diego bit, right?
I guess so. I mean, he says he got the feeling he was making like this big silent roar movie. He's like, he said, "Is that all there is? It's not enough for me." So I guess like he probably maybe felt passion for it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like as you kept going, you're just like, oh, maybe this isn't like what you thought it was going to be, or like
looking ahead to. I mean, when he was making Jurassic Park, he obviously was making like a suspense movie, and it was a huge challenge to make it seem realistic. And then Schindler's List, which is incredibly cinematic, an important movie to watch, like coming from those, to this, where it's a lot of production design, a lot of stunts, a lot of choreography, and that's what the focus of your job is as a director. It's a big difference, I'm sure. But he does right after this make Amistad and then Saving Private Ryan, 2 movies that are good, but also very different from Lost World.
Super.
It's like he took a break from, because I consider the first Jurassic Park was probably challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge to Schindler's List to then this. He's like, oh man, and then goes right back to making like the freaking some of the best movies during that decade.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's also like I think he may have said it a little bit on the making of that we were watching, like that kind of, it's sequels. I guess in this case when we were talking about the first one, like you don't get that same impact anymore.
Yeah.
I guess in this case because the first movie is like, wow, you've never seen anything like that before, and then this one is kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of more of the same. It's just like dinosaur meets man, dinosaur eats man. That's the exciting parts of the movie if you think about it. Like they're not.
And then dinosaur comes to us.
Yeah, and then eats other men,
eats other men and women and children and dogs.
And dogs, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, the franchise is still doing that. I don't know what I'm saying, like, trying to dismiss it right away.
New dinosaurs that can be trained to
dinosaurs
kill.
that aren't even really there because they're CG now.
They can hide now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were CG in this one too, shoot.
But, I mean, I guess that leads me into the favorite. I mean, you were talking about the favorite sequences, and I think mine goes to, because it's so, this movie is mean. Like, it's got like a violent aspect that the first one doesn't have to it. Like the first one doesn't have a lot of characters. And I think Drew said it was like the only reason you have this many. There's a lot of people in this caravan.
Yeah,
like
at one point there's a big old shot of them like traveling, and I was like, man, you know what I love about these movies is that they show you the whole cast just so that they can tear them all away.
I mean, the Raptors wipe out
all of them.
all of them.
Yeah,
just them by themselves.
I was gonna say that's my favorite sequence. As short as that is, like the grass sequence is really cool. Like to see the Raptors' tails come up and you see those guys like just start dropping.
Tension.
Yeah, I mean it's very quick. And only because I had an obsession with velociraptors as a kid when it came to like dinosaurs. And then the best shot of the movie to me is when that raptor jumps out of the sky and jumps on that dude.
Well, it's just the mastery of suspense versus there's just something at your face, and that's really what this is the audience always sees a little bit more than the people in the movie. So you see the grass moving and you're like, oh shit, or you see the trees moving, just a lot of plants moving. And then you're like, oh shit, the T-Rex coming. Like it's that kind of thing, and you're always there when they realize what's happening, and it's always too
late.
I told John I would have been scared as fuck if there weren't any dinosaurs on that island to go through that tall grass.
Yeah,
I'd be like, damn, there's probably snakes in there.
Because if you're scared of
scared of tall grass, you might get eaten.
You might get eaten. You might be a raptor.
Get your ass eaten.
That's right, everyone. We're Jeff Foxworthy fans over here. I don't know.
You are.
No, we are.
I don't know. They found a snake in that cave. I don't know how there's no snakes in that grass. Then but
that's true. Like, there must be other shit. Right?
Yeah, and like some poisonous scorpion, or I don't know. But my favorite sequence probably has to go to the T-Rex scene in the city at the very end when he goes up against a bus. He fights a nerd
wins.
at a Blockbuster.
Eats the main villain, who is the
trying to get
guy
a copy
in charge of
InGen. Yeah, of Independence Day. He's trying to get the copy of Independence Day probably because it's 1996. Yeah, and so that's my favorite sequence. I think that's one of my favorite shots too, when it roars out into the city when it first gets off the boat, and I think that ultimately paves the way for this Jurassic World because now you're like, oh, it's in the real world, and you're like, oh, this is the taste of that. Like the T-Rex is in the city, and it's very King Kong-esque, where King Kong goes loose and he climbs the Empire State.
Oh, it definitely plays homage to that destruction kaiju.
Yeah,
thing.
and even
there's a reference. Did you guys catch that?
No, what was it?
There's like people running away. Like,
oh
and then,
yeah.
just,
and
like,
you know what? I think during the behind the scenes things, we learned that it was a last minute audition. Like the movie was supposed to end just like the first one, where they're leaving the island as a family now, drinking their Coronas with Toretto on the helicopter.
Chicken salad
but then
sandwiches.
they were like, they always wanted to shoot a sequence with a dinosaur destroying the city, so they added it, and
it does feel that way as well, because you're right.
Yeah.
Like there's like a time skip
like a
where it's
surprise.
like, and then the boat gets there, and like the T-Rex got out, but at the same time we kind of contained it, and now it's coming back out again.
And again, it's the opposite of suspense. We really don't know as an audience. You're just like, you're experiencing it with the boats. There's something on the radar. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
And then Speed 2 cruise control just like starts crashing through land.
Except like a fourth of the length of Speed 2 cruise control. Maybe
oh
even
yeah,
like
that
a
crash. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what my favorite sequence is. I enjoyed the first seeing the T-Rexes for the first time.
I thought you could say the capsule nuts is eating the girl. I was like, damn, you sick ass.
That was really good. And I actually really do like when the T-Rex gets in the camp, because in my head I'm like, how did he sneak into the camp?
That's what I always am telling
this
John.
giant ass thing just snuck into the camp.
And it's constantly happening. So the end of the first Jurassic World, where they're getting backed up by the raptor, for some reason they don't see the T-Rex and then the T-Rex eats the raptor. And then in this one, the T-Rex pushes the trucks over.
Yeah.
Eddie's dead, and then suddenly like the guys are there to save them, and they're like, "Where'd the T-Rexes go?"
Yeah.
And then even in the waterfall scene, the guy literally like gets eaten. There's blood at the waterfall, and then they're like, "It's coming back," and then it's Malcolm, and you're like, "Where did the T-Rex go? How are they sneaking away?"
You're right. That T-Rex is pretty sneaky. I'd be more scared of that than the raptors, because you're right. At the end of the first Jurassic Park, how did it get into the door of that building? Freaking just walked in,
and no
or
one
something.
saw it. Like you would see something
and
like
for some reason, like sometimes like you see it in your water, but then sometimes it's tippy toeing apparently, or
and also if there's something big enough to shake your water, you probably don't need the water to know it's there. You feel it in your fucking bones. You're like, damn. But yeah, really exciting. And that's kind of those iconic. That's really what Spielberg's really good at, is kind of making these iconic sequences that are incredibly unique and thought out and hugely cinematic when you're watching it.
Copied the rest of the sequels.
And then copying it over and over. But knowing that is, when you think of Jurassic Park, you think of this, this ominous, brooding thumping of something coming. And like that's like what it boiled down to, or like really smart raptors.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what and even though it's all probably not true, right? None of this science is true.
Not. I mean,
I don't think that. Who knows? There's advisors and shit, but I mean,
at the very end of the day, they're making a fiction. So like,
And in the Jurassic World, they know that they're just making up shit.
They're making up dinosaurs at that point. Yeah.
They even kind of poke fun at the facts too, where it's like, we thought that the T-Rexes weren't territorial, but now she's studying, and she's like, no, I'm actually here.
Care of babies.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, they abandoned their young or whatever, and now it's kind of like that misinformation being confirmed or denied here.
But it's kind of, this was pre-internet, so everyone, the audience watching it, just absorbs it as fact. We're like, the next time I see a T-Rex, I'm just gonna stay still. It's not gonna get me.
The next
time. Or I'm gonna be friends with a raptor because I can.
This is more bad luck happening on screen right now. We have the movie playing in the background, but this guy just went to go take a piss.
It looked like he was taking his shit, because he looked like he was trying to like unbutton his pants like fast.
Yeah,
and so he probably shits himself here. Probably
it's kind of we keep calling it like mean and
nightmare.
And
we use like
nightmare or
horror
sadistic.
Movie rules.
But that truly is. You have to think of so many sequences, and there's something kind of fucked up about like how can someone get eaten by small, dinosaurs?
Gulliver's Travel style.
What if someone just gets stomped by a brachiosaurus?
Or a T-Rex. That guy just remember he falls and
it just continues. Like that's really what it is. They look at a list of dinosaurs and say, which one haven't we seen murder someone? And they're like, what if a storm of pterodactyls and other flying birds kill people? Cool. What if one jumps out of the water and eats the
ass out of somebody?
And that, I think, is why they're creating new dinosaurs in the new movies, is because they might have gone through a heavy list of all the predators that exist, and now they're like, we got to make one that can hide its heat signature.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go around the horn and give our final thoughts on this movie. John, what was your what?
It's a pretty fun movie to watch. I think I had a lot of fun watching it for this podcast. I hadn't seen it in a while, and it kind of makes me want to go on and watch like the third one, and then the fourth one, and the fifth one. Which is weird though, because I haven't seen the first one in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like, but I can't like go backwards because I know that like I want to watch, I guess, the bad ones as opposed to the good one, because the good one is just too good. But good try. I think it's probably the best of the, in terms of quality, probably the best of the Jurassic sequels, only because it's the only other one directed by.
Yeah, I was going to say that
Steven Spielberg.
We are not going apart from Indiana Jones. Like, there's really not many times we're going to talk about Spielberg that often,
Doing a
other
sequel,
than this. This is it, actually, right? Like,
I think so. I don't think
maybe
it's made.
we could do West Side Story or
Crystal
something.
Skull.
Oh, but we've done that.
What I'm
though,
saying,
before.
like outside of Indiana Jones, like he does. We don't talk
West
Spielberg.
Side Story 2.
The Last
Maybe we'll do West
Crusade.
Side Story. That's another Indiana Jones. We'll see. He may make the next.
He's not getting
The
this
Temple
part,
of
you're just
Doom.
like-
Just kidding.
He might make the next Fast movie.
Imagine that. Yeah, I think it's
Ready
again,
Player
it's
2.
the best of the.
Ready Player 2.
It's the best of the Jurassic sequels, and it's a lot of fun. I think it gets weirder going out of here, and you can totally start to see like it's more of the same after this. But for the time that it came out, and like at one point I was like super obsessed with it. Like I was like, oh, we get more dinosaurs, and I remember collecting like those watches from Burger King and shit, and like those were like really cool whenever it came out. And it still has a very fun arcade game to this day. That's
Oh.
still
To
like
this day.
That's at
I
some.
didn't know that.
I don't know if it's at.
Me and John finally beat it, like maybe like within 5 years.
Yeah, like, I
we had
think
never
it's-
beat it since it came out, and then we finally beat it.
It's still like it's still at some arcades, and that's a really fun like
Couple of D&Bs,
It's a
you
light
know?
gun like arcade game where you just kind of like go there and shoot at the screen.
You get to kill all these dinosaurs.
Fun flick. I mean, yeah, I think I wouldn't say they should have stopped after this. I think the third one actually does pull it around full circle because it's got Sam Neill and Laura Dern in it. But
So does Jurassic World Dominion.
God damn it.
So can the circle be more full? Yeah.
Yeah, just
Can you
it just
retrace the
giant.
circle
It's
again?
just like, yeah,
You
just
can do it as
retraces
many
the circle.
times as you want.
Fun movie though. I'm glad to have talked about it on this podcast.
Oh, Andrew, what did you find in the Lost World? It's good, right? That's NPR level shit right there.
I would stop at this one if I could. Like, man, like it would. I would watch the first one and then this one and be okay with like, okay, I don't need to watch the rest of them.
And honestly, like reasonable people should, like in the world of
Should.
Jurassic Park, should be like, nah, it happened twice, we're good. It came to San
it's
Diego,
true.
we're good.
You saw how many people got fucked up on the second island. He's a Nublar and Sorna. Nublar?
That sounds like so.
Nubar? I don't know what it's called.
I think it's Nublar. Like
Nublar, right?
Yeah.
Nublar. Nublir.
If you say Nublar instead of Nublar, you might be a redneck.
I thought it was really fun. It's a cool, as it doesn't measure up to the first one, but it's still a really cool continuation of some of the ideas and some of the themes, and it's just kind of a little bit more unhinged than the first one. It does drag out a little bit too long towards the end, which you can totally feel that they added that last city sequence at the towards the end, but still really cool to see the dinosaurs in that setting. And overall, I think I enjoyed the cast. I think the most on this one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Where as a kid, you could have never. I never was able to put two and two together. Where it's like, oh, Julianne Moore is just such a decorated actress of her time, and this and that. And now I have a little bit more of an appreciation with their careers almost come into and I wouldn't say a close, but they're
Into their golden years.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing them still work today, it goes to show that it's because of movies like this that they're still working today because of the amount of talent and how they're able to carry the movie ultimately here. And that's why I hope that they would have got Vince Vaughn for World, and they could have made it like a whole Avengers of this Jurassic Park or Jurassic World universe, and bring back Vince D'Onofrio. Fuck it, he's not dead.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. But
all the Vinces. Vince McMahon.
What did you think about that?
I thought it was, I feel like there is, it's an inevitable follow-up because Jurassic Park, of course, was so formative for all of us. It's big for pop culture and made us care about the little bones in the little dirt once more. But this movie is definitely an interesting choice to even center around Malcolm. Like, what a what a character to decide to make a movie. Make the main character of a movie. In some ways, I feel like it's a little meta because in the conversation with him and Hammond, they talk about repeating mistakes and doing something over again, and it's bad idea. Like, and I feel like that happens Jurassic World too, when they talk about the first park. So I feel like it's a little bit aware of what it is and what audiences want, which is fine. It definitely accelerates bigger sequences, and I think even in the behind the scenes, Spielberg shoots on a wide lens a lot, which is noticeable because instead of seeing one small animatronic Stegosaurus, you see a family of them, or you see a ton of raptors attacking all at once. And so I feel like you definitely see more in this than you do the original Jurassic Park. But yeah, I thought it was enjoyable, and I think it was a great homage to those monster movies. Like the kaiju movies, honestly, or even the smaller horror films,
like King Kong, or like the original Lost World, which is based on the old novel and stuff, where they're just some sort of
The only thing that was a little weird for me was them trying to shoehorn the broken family Spielberg thing that he did in his earlier films
and the first one
and that I think we've kind of decoded that a little bit too during the pod. But yeah, I think all in all, fantastic movie, definitely entertaining, super suspenseful, and I mean the action and the effects definitely hold up, and sometimes this movie is a better watch than some of the other stuff. So. Even not top tier Spielberg is better than a ton of movies,
right?
Because this is incredibly entertaining and effective, and we have little gripes, but there are movies with much bigger budgets that are way worse than this movie, and not even close to the spectrum of this movie. So watch it. Watch Lost World. All right.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it,
and then watch Jurassic World. Watch all the worlds.
Yeah, watch every world.
Yeah. Westworld, another Michael Crichton.
Oh yeah, that is another one. Very similar plot.
A lot of worlds, yeah. I think, yeah.
The original one, yeah.
Well, we never addressed the fact that Michael Crichton stole the idea for Jurassic Park.
From himself, or?
No, well, let's talk about it off mic, because maybe we'll get in trouble, but he stole
Really?
it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of crazy. But, John, what do you have to plug?
Anymore.
Okay, well, so...
He's going to get mad at us?
He read an article. It was a theoretical article that a paleontologist had written about how we could clone dinosaurs. And Michael Crichton called him and met him pretending to be a writer for a newspaper, even though Michael Crichton wasn't a writer for a newspaper. And so he spent like a week with this guy getting his science, and he asked all these hypothetical questions and stuff. And then the paleontologist, like a year later, saw that Jurassic Park was coming out by Michael Crichton. And he's like, what the heck? This is all the stuff that... like I told you about in my theoretical stuff. So Michael Crichton took all of his research and wrote he didn't tell him a story, so he made a whole story.
Is that true?
It is true.
Holy shit.
But it's fine, I guess, huh? But the guy never made a cent. He made $0.00, even though the premise of Jurassic Park.
Get that NDA, baby.
Gotta get that NDA.
The tone of this podcast just went the way of the Lost World. Very
Sorry.
somber,
very
lost.
Yeah, that's right. We're part of the culture.
Yeah, the nightmare logic just came apart of here.
But John, what do you have to plug?
I'm going to plug this podcast, Revenge of the Sequel is back. Please listen to it. We will be doing not just Halloween movies, but we're going to be doing some other movies as well.
Is this a Halloween movie?
No.
Okay.
We could put it there because it's scary.
Wait, what's Dinosaur Month? We should do a whole Dinosaur Month.
Shark Week?
We can do Dinosaur Month.
We can do this for Shark Week.
Carnivore 2 or Carnosaur 2.
Dinosaurs are sharks of the land.
Dinosaur versus Shark. There's probably an Asylum movie. That's probably no doubt that.
Yeah, we're just watching a lot of sci-fi movies.
Revenge of the Sequel is back. Please listen to that. Go listen to Countdown to Infinity. I think we're going to be on the Shang-Chi podcast pretty soon. We'll also be making an appearance on the What If season with the with Marvel Zombies that come out in there. Go listen to that. I'm going to go ahead and plug the Countdown Strikes Back. We are in the middle of a book club right now. I'm not exactly sure which book, so I'm not going to...
We'll probably still be on a book, yeah.
We'll be on a book right now, but if you guys like the new High Republic books that are coming out, you should listen to that. We have very fun discussions on that. Yep. And obviously, wear a mask and get vaccinated so that we don't have any more movie delays and shit.
Yeah, because honestly, if we don't get new movies soon, we'll just be over here. Hey, if we don't get vaccinated, Andrew, what do you have to plug?
Everything that John said, I'm a part of a lot of those shows as well. I'm also going to plug Brennan and Adam's podcast, Director Showdown, so that way they can leave me alone about never plugging their stuff.
And don't they have a season on Steven Spielberg?
They do have a Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and so go listen to them. Really entertaining, and especially if you like a little bit more of deep dives in dissections of film.
Those are long episodes.
That is definitely your thing. But also listen to Juicy John Escudero's.
Oh my gosh.
Dirt Sheet Radio. It's really big right now in professional wrestling. A lot of eyes on it with a bunch of these returns. Two UFC fighters end up coming back to the wrestling business. Only one of them was the UFC heavyweight champion, which is the less better wrestler apparently. But go check out that stuff if you're interested in that. Listen to everything on the Patreon. Wear a mask. Get vaxxed. So that way. They don't delay Spider-Man or they don't delay Venom.
And also,
please,
so
God, don't let them
kill
delay
people.
Venom again. Yeah, and also, movies are secondary to other people's lives. We need people to have movies, to have and watch those movies. So wear a mask when necessary, even when not when necessary. If you just feel uncomfortable, just wear a mask. I'm ugly, so I love wearing the mask anyway. It does me right. People say I have a voice for radio and a face for radio.
Well, that reminds me though. See our faces on YouTube,
and I'll be wearing a mask during those videos.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you the continuation of the 6th season of Revenge of the Sequel.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Manscaped.